They literally have opened up doors that I didn't think could even exist in my world of vegetarian products that we produce. And we've been very, very lucky that we have a gentleman who I'll introduce to you later today who has infected himself with that same passion of taking the imagination of producing food together with our passion for vegetarian, and has created some dishes today and some snacks today that I think will make you look at vegetarian in a completely different world and different way. So I'm going to speak to you for about 20 minutes, and actually one of my colleagues said to me, I need to tell you that if you want to leave early, just remember that there is a draw at the end of the evening for a wonderful prize in South Africa to a luxury game lodge in KZN. So one of you people will end up winning a prize tonight, so it's worthwhile staying, even if you don't want to hear about vegetarian. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Prize family. I'm going to tell you about the family and who we are and who they are. We'll talk a little bit about consumer trends. Jean-Michel was mentioning, I'm lucky that, I'm glad that you listened these last couple of days. You mentioned flexitarian, you mentioned all of these wonderful things. And I must apologize for not speaking in Francais, but my French is very, very rusty from Quebec, and you know the opportunity to taste some of the products. So this couple are the founders of Prize. In 1991, they embarked on a journey of producing vegetarian products that tasted like meat. And I know you're going to say to me, but if you're a vegetarian, why do you want it to taste like meat? Well, the crazy thing is that Mrs. Fry was a vegetarian from birth, but Wally Fry had been an avid meat eater for most of his life. And at the age of 41, he took the decision, and basically driven by his children, asking questions as to, Mommy, why are we eating these animals? And he couldn't answer the question. So he decided to produce products for the family that tasted like meat so that he could get the craving that comes with eating meat. Because what you need to remember is when you eat anything, it's basically those 10 seconds that that product is in your mouth and moving through your mouth. That is the enjoyment that we all thrive or that we all seek out there. So whether it is a vegetarian product or a meat product really shouldn't make a difference if it tastes good. So the critical thing for Wally was whatever he made had to taste good. So Debbie and Wally embarked on this journey and they created this business together. And along the way they have made a history where we put these photographs in because this is the family. This is what they were doing. They were cooking in their backyard. They were making vegetarian sausages in their garage. And we've evolved to the factory that you see on the bottom left. And more so than that, the whole family is involved. So Wally and Debbie have 3 daughters, and two of those daughters are married. And the 2 gentlemen on the outsides of this picture are the son-in-laws, and they work every day in the business. So everybody has a different role, everybody has a different involvement. And I joined the company 2.5 years ago, and really what he said to me was, he said, my children are a little bit young. Won't you come in and provide a base and a background so that they can learn the business side of the business. They understand vegetarianism, but help them to understand the business. And my background is 12 years with McCain, so I've been in the frozen food business for many years, but I also worked for a family. The McCain business is a family business. And so I've known the founders and understood some of the dynamics of working for a family business. And working for a family business is the most incredible thing because people are so passionate. But sometimes that passion makes it difficult for people from the outside. The beauty of Fry's is that this organization understands how to make a difference and how to instill that passion. So when we talk about our passion, we talk about our vision. And I'm going to read it to you because it really does reflect that our passion and commitment to absolute quality and true ethics of vegetarianism will ensure that the needs of our consumers, that's you and everybody out there, are met and exceeded. This success requires the highest standards of behavior towards everyone we work with, the lives that we touch, and the environment on which we have an impact. Fry's aims to add vitality to life and to meet everyday needs for nutrition with a brand that will help people feel good and get more out of life. Good food, great taste, naturally. but it's difficult not to be passionate about working for a company that has those ethics and really, really enjoy them. So let me talk to you a little bit about consumers. And why do I talk about consumers? Because what is happening in Mauritius and what is happening around the world is that the consumer is evolving. There are certain things that are happening that will change the way that we eat tomorrow, because there's a new diet, there's a new amount of information about what you need to do with protein, there's talk about fats, there's talk about different kinds of cholesterol, there's different kinds of oil. But one of the most critical things is that we're finding that 74% of meat eaters regularly look at eating meat-free meals in some shape or form. And this might be for various reasons. It might be for health, it might be for ethics, it might be just because the person is trying to reduce their meat intake because they're feeling that it's heavy for them when they eat it. And we did this research because we wanted to understand what the trends were. And this is where we came across a global phenomenon which is called flexitarian, or flexitarianism. And what are flexitarians? Those are people that are actively looking to reduce their meat intake. These are people that when they decide to go out and eat, or when they eat at home, they might make that decision not to have meat as the base of what they're eating. And this means that they're preparing meals with no meat from time to time. Now what's interesting is it's a growing trend. So we're finding that in a sample, in a total sample of 1,550 consumers, 33% of those consumers were flexitarian, or nominated themselves as flexitarian when we explained to them what that category meant. Let me ask you this question. If you're going to eat at a restaurant and the person you're going to eat with is a vegetarian, who's going to make the decision as to where you eat? Is it the meat eater or is it the vegetarian? It's probably going to be the vegetarian. And why? Because you need to take their needs into consideration. And the same happens in a household. So what is happening is that we're finding that 77% of vegetarians are not happy with the offerings they get in fast food restaurants and in restaurants. So this means that what they're getting is paneer, dal, feta, lentils. It is so boring, and for a vegetarian, it's scary. It really is scary. And so that's, as restaurateurs and as catering organizations and people in the hospitality industry, you need to understand that the demand to make vegetarian food more exciting is critical. And we're hoping that we can help you to find some of those solutions. These are brands obviously out of South Africa, but many of them exist right here at the moment. And when we speak to vegetarians and to flexitarians, they're telling us that 15% of those consumers are saying they would prefer to eat at Nando's than, for example, at Scooters or at Wimpy. And the reason they're saying that is because Nando's has more options for vegetarians than potentially some of these others. But this is a very low percentage, and it means that a lot of vegetarians are probably not eating out. They're probably not eating out. We also know that we are incredibly time-starved. And what do I mean by time-starved? It just means that we're on the run all the time. So we're snacking a lot. And so we need to think about how do we give consumers the ability to snack when they're on the run. And if you just look at the trends on fast food and takeaway, it is growing so quickly because people are time-starved. And they don't know what to do to be able to fix it. So they're eating up to three times a week. They are eating what they would consider to be snacks and on the run. Let me talk to you a little bit about our products. We have an amazing range of products. We have 28 products in our range. And our products are being sold in Mauritius, and just help me now, I think we've been here 8 years or 9 years, 10 years. So the product has been in retail for close to 10 years. And so lots of consumers have had an engagement or been involved with fries. But that has really only been in retail. And often what we'll find is consumers will say to us, I never knew that you had such a range of products. So we have a couple of sausages, we have schnitzels, and I'm just going to show you all of these products are available in a catering and a food service format. So just to give you an indication, this is those same products, or the schnitzel would be available in that same format without the print pack. So all of the prize products are available in their own catered food service format. You just need to ask your ideal salesman, and they'll give you the spec, the configuration, the code, and everything. We have a range of burgers. We have a chicken burger, we have an Asian burger, an original burger, and a traditional burger. And you'll taste the traditional burger tonight. That also obviously comes in a food service environment. We have a range of products for kids. We have pops, chicken style nuggets, and hot dogs. And these are products that are so easy to cook and so easy to prepare. It is really as simple as anything. We have products like polony, which is very, very popular in Mauritius. It's interesting that polony is what is our single biggest selling product in Mauritius. And the amazing thing for me when I arrived here was that I wasn't 100% sure what that polony was being used for. And if I don't understand why the consumer is using the product, it's very difficult for me then to target the right quality and for the right products for that consumer base. So it's important for us to understand our Mauritian consumer. That's why we travel here. That's why we want to understand what are the demands, what are the needs. We have a vegetarian mince which has got a lot of flexibility to it. We have our two strips, the chunky strips and the chicken strip. And of the products that you saw here, or that you're seeing here, you will taste, I think, around about 90% of these products this evening. We have a range of pies, a pepper steak pie, a country mushroom pie, and a curry pie. And then we have recently launched a range of products called our Authentic range. It's actually called our Durban Authentic range, and it's based on an Indian flavor profile where we have two curries, one of which you will taste tonight, and we have a spicy sausage, and we have a crispy prawn which you will also taste tonight. And these are products that have been developed in conjunction with a chef that we've partnered with, Dina Naidu. And it's very interesting for us that we're able to work with chefs in Mauritius and work with chefs in South Africa, and they have completely different ways of approaching the opportunity, and they think differently. And that's what makes working with food so incredibly exciting, especially in the catering industry. We have created, or we do have a demand from a lot of consumers that are looking for products that do not taste and look like meat. And so we have created a product which is actually just won Product of the Year in South Africa. And these are two vegetarian bites that are made from quite exotic grain types from the Andes. And we've had a lot of success in launching this. It doesn't exist in Mauritius at the moment, but the product is available. So what you can see and what you'll see this evening is that the product is incredibly versatile. When I was chatting to Nazim a little bit earlier today, he made the point that it is really only your imagination that creates the boundaries with what you can do with food. And working with vegetarian food is exactly the same. Remember I said to you that the product has to have great taste. So what we do in South Africa on a regular basis is we test to see what consumers think about our product. But we don't go and test it just with vegetarians. That would be foolish. So we test our products at the same time with meat eaters. And you can see on the far right hand side that 63% of meat eaters consider our product to be either excellent or good. Now if a meat eater is saying that they are prepared to eat the product that tastes good, that's the endorsement we're looking for. I think it's also important to understand that we develop and we produce our products against a very strict guideline. We're very careful about what we put into our products, and we're very careful about what our product stands for. So all of our products are 100% vegan. We have no meat, obviously, and no egg and dairy in the products. We use only non-GM grains and products, so our product is completely non-GM. Cholesterol-free, no artificial colorants, no preservatives, no MSG, no hydrogenated fats, no trans fats, and it's an excellent source of protein. What a lot of people forget when they move into a vegetarian type diet is it's very difficult sometimes to get your protein requirement. Our product has an extremely high protein content, which allows you to then have it as part of a balanced meal. We are very closely aligned to a lot of organizations and religions that represent the important part of being a vegan or vegetarian. And so we are recognized by the Vegan Society of the UK. We have the certification of the Kosher Parev organization. We are fully halal. We are supported by Shuda. And we have a lot of endorsements from the countries where we sell our products. We operate out of a facility that is ISO 22000, so we have a world-class modern facility and has been that way for many, many years. We have constant certifications and audits that are done. This is the factory, it is in KZN. We only have one factory. At present we are exporting to 21 countries around the world, of which Mauritius is a very important one, but we only produce our product in that facility. We don't produce it in any other facility anywhere else in the world. This is the brands, the retail brands that are represented, where our product is represented in Mauritius. And you can see that we're pretty much in all of the retail stores. And that's been thanks to IBL's involvement and their commitment to getting our distribution up. We're very, very thankful for how that has worked. And then these are just some of the other brands around the world that are retail brands where we have our product represented. And we are extremely proud to be able to do so. So let me talk to you a little bit about giving back and understanding. One of the critical things that we need to do as an organization is we need to understand why are people needing to eat or wanting to eat vegetarian. And there's numerous reasons for why people do so. Health is obviously an absolutely critical one, and in many instances that is not your personal choice. It's a little bit like giving up smoking. When the doctor says to you, you have to give up smoking, well, it's a difficult decision. It's the same when the doctor tells, look, you need to reduce your red meat intake, you need to reduce your meat intake. There's a lot of people that have been introduced to our products as a result of being told that they need to look after their health and they need to be careful about what they eat. But probably the biggest driver for us is the fact that the environment and humanity, ethics and morals drive a lot of people's decision-making process. And it's not my place here to say to somebody that you need to take into consideration what the impact is of killing an animal. That's not what I'm here for at all. But what I can tell you is that the animal agriculture industry is putting our planet under huge pressure. And that's really, if you just think logically about the fact that it takes 25 liters of water to produce 1 ton of grain. Okay? It takes 16,000 liters of water to produce 1 kg of beef. So all you just have to think about is how do we justify taking a process that is so inefficient and creating a demand for a product that is never going to be able to be supplied long term. So this planet cannot supply meat to feed everyone. It's the reality. So therefore we have to think logically about what is our role in terms of defending the planet for the long term. And then that's where our commitment comes towards making sure that there is a viable option for people to eat a high-protein meat product. And as a result of that, we support an organization and a movement called Meat-Free Mondays. We launched it in South Africa. I've suggested possibly to IBL, and I would like to even suggest maybe to some of the banks. I'll just tell you a little story. The people from RCB Bank, do you know who FNB is? They don't compete with you here, do they? I don't think so. But FNB approached us. They are a green organization. They're trying to be more environmentally friendly. And they approached us and we said to them, why don't you offer in your canteen the option for your people that work there to have a meat-free Monday meal. And what has happened is that First National Bank is now supporting Meat-Free Mondays as a completely, it's not obligatory, and you can basically do it on a voluntary basis, but the demand and the growth has been incredible. So you've got an organization that is suddenly supporting that. And banks and businesses can do this and make a difference by just giving their employees the option. So you'll see there's a website, Meat Free Mondays is recognized as an organization that supports the environment. It's not linked to any brand specifically. We support it because we do believe that Meat Free Mondays is an incredibly good movement, but it's something that I think for consumers to think about. So we've been in the market now, as I said, it's 21 years since we started, but 18 years since we've really been active. Last year we sold over 5 million kgs of prize product. And our brand is synonymous with high quality, and it's a trusted brand amongst vegetarians and vegans. We look after our brand with everything that we can. We've really become the standard. So in many instances, in the retail industry, we find, in the catering industry, a lot of the fast food chains as well as the catering organizations will put our brand on the menu or next to the product that they're selling. And why will they do that? Because people need to know what it is. And it's so difficult sometimes to explain what is a meat alternative. No, well, is it soya? Well, yeah, it's soya, but it's not. So what we often do is most people that have been introduced or have eaten our product before recognize the brand. So we work quite closely with the catering industry to provide them with the opportunity to put our brand available when they are serving the product. So before we get into the tasting, I just want to take a second to explain or to give you a little bit of insight into the amazing day that I had today. So yesterday we had the opportunity to have a short meeting with Nazim, who I'm sure you all know, and he said to me, Tim, I'm going to play with your products a little bit. And I thought, okay, you know what, that's fine. We'll see what he does. He said, but would you mind doing me a favor? Won't you please just pop by at lunchtime today? And I just want to give you an idea of where my head goes. Well, I tell you what, myself and Christian and Calvin sat down to a 5-course meal where every single course had a component of prize product in it, and it ended with a dessert that had fries in it. The amazing thing is that once again, the imagination that exists in the food industry is absolutely astounding. So this is the creation of dishes was really produced, and I put this in at the last minute. It wasn't in my presentation, but he took a Fry's traditional burger and he wrapped it in phyllo pastry, and then on top of it there was a red wine reduction. Well, I tell you what, it was absolutely stunning. But what it explained to me and what it made clear to me is that you can literally do anything you want to with food if you have the imagination and you understand how the flavors and the different tastes come together. So, you know, the easiest thing for me would be to stand here and talk for another 20 minutes. I'm not going to do that. And the reason I'm not going to do it is because we've found around the world that when we allow people to taste our product, that is the best noise that we can make with our product. But in order to do so, I'd like to take this opportunity to ask Nazim to come forward and just give you a little bit of insight into what he's done for you here at the back. Because when you do get a chance to walk around here, I promise you it will blow your mind. Because there are inventions here that I'm stealing, Nazim, I'm taking back with me to South Africa, and actually I'm taking you back with me to South Africa. So I'm very, very grateful for the time and the effort that you put in over the last couple of days. It was much more than I ever expected from you, but you've done a wonderful job. Can you maybe just give a little bit of insight into what is happening?
Go for French?
It's much better.
Donc ce qu'on a fait, comme a dit un peu plus tôt, donc l'idée on s'est produit à cette demande du chef qui se respecte, c'est-à-dire végétarien. Déjà il trouve que c'est difficile. Je pense que quand le produit est là, on n'a qu'à s'inspirer. Moi j'ai dit le produit d'être à plus, à partir du produit concret. Ça peut être une pièce de légumes ou autre chose, mais il faut travailler comme ça, penser qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire autre qu'un d'homme, une canne. C'est un peu ce qu'on a fait avec le produit de Price. On a commencé à travailler hier matin, c'est pas aussi longtemps que cela, c'est simplement à peine. Puis j'ai emmené l'équipe, je pense que c'est un travail d'équipe, c'est pas moi tout seul. Donc on a réfléchi avec mon chef pâtissier, et voilà, tout le monde s'attend à du salé, on ne pas du sucré. Et puis quand on a fait une petite dégustation ce matin, on a essayé de sortir un peu d'essayer de frontières On a voulu faire autre chose. On a pensé, par exemple, on a pensé par le nom, on l'a converti avec le produit. L'idée, c'est pas seulement fermer, rester dans une quête de dire il nous faut se produire ce produit-là. N'importe quoi, on peut faire la cuisine. Je pense que la cuisine, c'est la chimie, c'est le bon usage, avoir le produit. Et ces produits-là, on parlait plus tôt avec les. On va essayer de venir un peu le pays où tous les weddings sont faits, les Indiens. Peut-être qu'ils viennent avec la chef, c'est pas avec des produits comme ça, on peut faire autre chose, on peut faire du curry, faire des plats qui touchent contemporains, continental. Il n'y a pas de limite, il n'y a pas de limite. S'y mettre et de laisser inspirer. C'est un produit comme rien expliqué, manger beaucoup de choses. Donc les gens sont health conscious, donc ils ne veulent pas trop de matière grasse, pas trop de ci, pas de sodium carbonate, donc vous avez tout dedans. C'est un beau produit. Je l'ai dit en tant que chef, hein, je n'étais pas ping-pong et whatever, j'ai été au Michelin, je l'ai dit de cœur. Hein. Je pense que ici, il y a beaucoup de mes amis chefs, hein, la cuisine c'est des choses de cœur. Quand on ressent quelque chose, c'est le cœur qui parle. C'est pas le. Donc, ce qu'on nous a fait ce soir, donc on a mis dans le contexte ancien, on a mis un peu de curry, un alim, un biryani, un alim, on a fait du saké, des spices salés, on a fait comme cette déclinaison un peu de cette cuisine que tout le monde aime. Mon chef aime bien épicé, il y a cette cuisine pas insipide, mais avec du goût, on mange du sang. Comme je vous dis, on a commencé à travailler hier, c'était, comme je le disais un peu plus tôt, si on avait une semaine, 2 semaines, ça aurait été beaucoup plus. Je suis sûr, je vous souhaite une bonne dégustation.
Ok. Oui, je voulais donc vous inviter sans plus attendre à déguster les créations de Nazim d'ailleurs. Bien sûr, l'équipe de Fries, Tim, Kelvin, moi-même, l'équipe de Braquet, et de notre disposition pour interagir et répondre à vos questions et exploiter davantage le monde de Fries. Merci pour votre attention.